Welcome to Polypulse, your daily South African political pulse. Today, the Madlanga Commission is back in the spotlight, and there are fresh revelations about state capture that you need to hear. Stick with me for the breakdown. Here's what's happening. Click, like, and subscribe. Roll the clips.
Opposition towards Bevan, that you found it necessary to give him that kind of warning.
Okay, what had happened, if I can just go into a bit of depth. Captain Forrest, I was concerned because what was happening, I was concerned about Bevan's life now because there were threats made against him. So I started conducting my own inquiries to see who Captain Governor really are. And then I established that after they had come there in December, obviously they didn't return until February. I established, from my police experience, the cases that were from Belair. As an experienced detective, I have an understanding of how it works. When you receive a docket for investigation, you have to, within 24 to 48 hours, you have to do some work on it. So if there's evidence in the docket, you'd obviously approach the accused person or the suspect in that matter. Should there be any witness statements, corroborating witnesses, etc. And I established that there weren't any of the above. So I took it from that is why Dina Governor and his team didn't return for Bevan. Because had it been such a serious case, they would have been relentless to arrest him. Because I asked the question, why would a specially formed anti-gang unit go to a small station in an area and draw 2 attempted murder dockets, which the investigating officer hadn't pursued or made any attempt to contact the alleged suspect? So I thought it quite suspicious, why this can't be falling in their mandate. And then I established that Captain Governor was at Brighton Beach Station and at Winter Police Station trying to find dockets where Bevan is implicated, outstanding dockets. And the information I got from my sources was that Captain Varley was working with him, looking for dockets so that they can arrest him. So in my opinion, I was saying, if the cases were so strong against him, why are they going further to look for other dockets? So I was of the opinion that there was no real evidence to arrest Bevan on those 2 Belair cases. And then Bevan had issues with Captain Varley in the past. And just the fact that if he calls him, when he was a captain at Wentworth, Captain Varley was a captain at Wentworth Detectives. He was a group, because the detectives are divided into groups and they have a captain in charge of each group. There was an instance where Bevan was arrested with some of his friends for a firearm charge. Okay, I'll give a background of that. When they on the street, the tow trucks sit on what they call a patch, where they sit and wait for calls for accidents. It was late at night, and he says he was coming home, and a friend of his from the area asked him where is he. So he indicated where he was. So he said he's going home. So the friend asked him for a lift home because it was on en route to Bevan, to us where Bevan lived. And he knows the boy is naughty. So he said to him, there's a roadblock opposite the police station, Winter Police Station. He says, I'm going that way. If you have anything illegal on you, declare it now because I'm going through that roadblock. He says, and the guy said, no, he hasn't got anything illegal. So he says, when they got to the roadblock, just before the roadblock, the youngster says to him, hey, I've got a firearm on me. So Bevan said he told him, I'm not turning back now, because if I turn back, it look like I did something wrong, something to that effect. So there were 5 people in the vehicle, and everybody was arrested. So I got a call that he's arrested at Winter Police Station. I know most of the detectives at Winter Police Station because I worked with them. So I established who was on call and who would have the docket. So I made a phone call to say, what is the way forward, what's the charge, etc. So the detective said to me, no, I can come see him in the morning. So I said to him, look, must I get an attorney? He says, no, it's not necessary because he's going to be releasing them because there's no evidence. They can't place the docket, the file in anyone's possession. So fine, I went to the station on the Saturday morning and I spoke to the detective, and he was now going to process all the cases that came on overnight. So he went to the cell. I followed him. I didn't go in. So he said to me, no, he's going to release them because Bevan and them were shouting and saying they don't know what they're going to do, etc. There's cameras in the cells. the policeman that was in charge, I won't say his name, he received a phone call from Captain Varley because he fell under Captain Varley's group. And he said to Captain Varley, he's releasing these guys because there's no evidence against any of them, and there's no chance of a successful conviction. The phone was on speaker. Captain Varley said to him, no, don't release Bevan. He's going to take that docket, and he'll handle the docket henceforth. So Bevan then went to court based on that. He took possession of that docket as the investigating officer, which is not normal as the captain of the group to investigate the matters. And the matter, I'm not sure if it was thrown out or it wasn't placed on the roll. I need to confirm that. So yeah, so Bevan had said, even in the conversation, when he phoned him, that's why I said to him, don't phone, because back to where we started, because Dina is after you, and Varley is not a friend of yours. So let's leave it as it is, because based on my experience and my inquiries, there wasn't enough evidence in the docket to arrest Bevan. And when Bevan found that they were looking for him for these cases, he came to me and he said he related to me that, hey, there's 2 dockets that they're drawing at Belair for him to come and arrest him. And he said to me, I've got no cases, I don't understand this. And henceforth my inquiry started. I forget which number we were on. 51. Bevan nevertheless called Varley and asked him, Captain Varley, to stop harassing Hendrik Nunes, who was his driver and his manager at the time. The phone was on speaker so I could hear the conversation. Captain Varley wanted the bike released, but Bevan refused because he had released vehicles in the past on Varley's word that the client would pay, but the client ended up not paying. Bevan told him to stay out of his business and do police work. Bevan told him that they were both men, and the only difference was that Captain Varley has a badge.
Sorry, just on that last point, what did you make of that statement?
I want to elaborate on that. The words actually used was, look, Bevan was furious because he was under such pressure. He's getting pressure from these guys for a case he says he knew nothing about, and Varley now. So the words were something to the effect of, Varley, you're a man, I'm a man. You've got blood and bone, I've got blood and bone. You're a policeman, I'm not. You've got a badge. You do your police work and I'll do mine. Stay out of my business. It was to that kind of effect. In other words, stay in your lane, I'll stay in mine.
Sure.
After calling Captain Varley, Bevan called Mr. Clive Nyker of Roadstar, towing again against my advice. The transcript of the call has already been referred to above and is GL2, as stated above. I have sent the recording to the Commission and I believe it will be played for all to hear. Again, this call was on speaker and I could hear the conversation. I wish to highlight that the following...
Sorry, just before that, I think I'd like to take up the chair's invitation to play the recording at this juncture. Chair. Chair, it seems that as it would happen,
you were ready and raring to go quite some time back. Should we? Let's just carry on. Perhaps you'll come back.
Yes, can I request if indeed get
That
them
closes the afternoon
in place.
report on
But
day
it's
115.
quite important for the context.
The names,
All
the
right.
units,
I think
and the
also for
dockets
the
keep stacking up,
question
and
that
every
was
one
put
of them
to
maps
Mr.
to a
John.
station in a family waiting for answers.
I don't know whether I can
Subscribe to
because
Madlanga today for the
my
daily
colleague
timeline
tells me.
and follow the
I
legal
don't
and
even
street
think
angles
it's
on Polypulse
necessary
and
for
KZN
us to
SAPS.
go to the transcript because we went.
And that's your Polypulse brief for today. If this helped you make sense of the madness, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a breakdown. For more South African stories from a youth perspective, check out our sister channel at Mzansi Pulse. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay sharp, South Africa.